Our January 2022 annual meeting, recap 21. Get forward. I'm going to start with talking about our values because I feel like the last time we got together was 2019, and it kind of set the tone for what we ended up doing in 2020, which was, you know, the year we all don't want to go back to. But we really focused on the core of why the organization exists, even though we couldn't gather, right? So we looked for ways to give back to organizations that protect our trails. We did a lot of things to create new traditions. We leveraged the history we had as an organization. We really tried to be inclusive of all trail running goals and abilities. We worked with the local organizations where we could, right? So we couldn't do formal trail maintenance days, so we still managed to gather and go and hit some town parks and town facilities and help them clean up. And throughout this, we try to be family friendly, right? We're really trying to build that next generation of outdoor lovers. And so a lot of our events, kids are welcome. We have historically done the Soapstone Trail Race with a kids race. And so this kind of sets the tone for everything that we do. I'm going to do a 21 in review real quick, and then we'll talk about what's coming up in 2022. So I do this every year, and I actually flipped back to the first year I did it, which I believe was 2017. And the map looks dramatically different. So current list right now for our membership is 225 individuals and 60 families. In 2019, just even going back to 2019, we had 122 individuals and 30 families. So in a matter of 2 years, and probably, you know, difficult 2 years, we've almost doubled our membership. Now, our core still is in that 84 corridor in the east part of the state. But we're starting to get a lot more members from around the state, a lot more by the shoreline, you know, certainly a bunch in Farmington Valley, Boston area, Springfield. And so, you know, we're going to look for ways to kind of bring more folks into the fold. You know, like I mentioned, it was hard to gather over the last, you know, maybe 18 months, but, you know, going forward, I think there are really a good opportunity to get out to some trails we haven't, maybe travel to parts of the state, while staying true to the, you know, sort of Vernon, Tolland, Manchester, Somers area, which is our core. Quick reminder from a social media standpoint. So you can find our events up on the website. You can find a bunch of information up on the website. If you haven't been, you probably should check it out. There's also a Google Calendar there. I personally use that a lot. So you can import our Google Calendar. It'll show you all the races and events that are upcoming. YouTube is great because we've got race previews up there. We have our prior annual meetings are up there. This one will be up there as well if folks ever want to go back and watch it again. You know, there's all kinds of opportunities to create new content and get it out on YouTube so people can find us. I think most people are most familiar with our Facebook and our Instagram. Certainly, if you aren't, feel free to jump in there as well. Big news for 21, we had social runs, which, you know, were a really great opportunity to reconnect with everybody. So, you know, we had the Assault of the Month Club, which, you know, that group was out there every month tackling the assaults. We did ice cream runs. So we got together, ran a new trail or ran a trail we hadn't in a while and went out for ice cream. We did a bunch of hikes. We did a holiday hike that's in the lower left-hand corner. Hills was resurrected. So people going and tackling hills in Vernon. You know, really just a good opportunity this year to kind of get back into the swing of things. And so I really appreciate seeing everybody's smiling faces, getting out there and enjoying the miles in the woods. I'll kick it over to you. You have to come.
That's me. Just a quick recap on our finances. Most of the money that comes to our club comes from our races. We did pretty well this year with nearly 10,000 in net profit from the races, and that's largely what drives our donations to our various benefactors. Membership dues mostly cover our expenses, a big part, which is our RCA, and the insurance that we get through our RCA to protect us during our races and our regular operations. And that's mostly covered by, like I said, by our dues, and that's about a wash. Next slide. Go to the next slide, Emma. Thanks. The donations we made this year were just about $10,000. Our big three are CFPA, Northern Connecticut Land Trust, and Joshua's Trust. That's where the bulk of our donations are made. Some of the smaller groups that help support our races also get a nominal donation. And Nipmuc Dave usually does some kind of trail project every year, a bridge or something that he asks us to donate for, and we cover that. I know he's got plans for doing a bridge at the north end of it's Bigelow Pond up there at the end of the Nipmuc. He wants to make a bridge across that water crossing, and he's trying to get permission to do that, and he'll be looking for some helpers to come out and haul stuff into the woods with him. So we're hoping that can happen. I promise we'd support him on that. So that's about it. Another good year.
Emma, there's a hand up.
Oh, we have a
with
hand
a
up.
question.
All right, I think they have to put it in the Q&A though. I don't know that they can come off mute or in the chat window. So if you've got a question, feel free to pop it in there and we'll go ahead and answer it. And obviously use the chat and the Q&A function if you have anything on your mind. So for this, I'll kick it over to our race directors. Dan, you'll get started with Soapstone, then we'll do Nipmuc South, the Assault, and then Nipmuc Marathon.
Good afternoon, everybody. I don't have a slide, but I do have some numbers for everybody. For the 2021 Soapstone Trail races, 24K, we had 161 people registered and 133 actually ran the race. Out of that, we had 83 males and 50 females. And the age range was anywhere from 14 years old to 75, with people representing Washington, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Massachusetts, New York, and New Hampshire. For the 6K, we had 74 people registered with 62 finishers. 62 of them were male, and I think I messed up on that. Well, anyways.
It's okay.
The age range for that was 10 to 75. My math didn't add up. Last year, we also had a virtual race for those who were uncomfortable with the regular race or for whatever other reasons. The 24K virtual, there were 5 registered. We had 3 finish, 2 male and 1 female. And the 6K, we had 3 registered and all 3 ran the race, 1 male and 2 females. So for the registered runners, we had a total of 243 and we had a total of 201 finish. Out of that, 148 were male and 114 were female. Some side notes. The race is now officially a 25K, and I'll add the ish at the end of it because it can vary depending on if you get lost or not. Starting from the riding club adds to it, so it's now a 25K. The new course marking was a huge success. I had a lot of positive feedback, and I'd have to thank Dom for those bright pink arrows. They helped a lot of people, and some people still couldn't get it, and oh well. Just wander around the woods. The course isn't going to change this year. It's going to be the same markings, and hopefully people can become more familiar with it. And this year we will have food, and hopefully COVID will be gone by then, and we can all enjoy a great 2022 season. Thank you.
Great. All right, Scott, you're up next.
Okay, I think I'm unmuted. Am I unmuted?
Yep, all set.
Okay. No one said anything. I had to look at the faces. So Nipmuc South, hopefully we'll have a regular run this year. It looks like we will. Last year we had a bunch of people that registered that weren't able to make it, but I think we ended up around 100 runners. Someone can jump in if they have the exact number. The route will probably be similar, except that the second bridge is missing. I was going down Chaffeeville Road and saw it by the side of the road. They actually towed it up from the river. But have no fear, if we have to reroute it, there is a spur trail that goes a little bit west that would still connect us up, so we'll still be able to loop it up. I was recently on the trail in the Beaver Dam towards the second half is really pretty amazing. I've never seen a beaver hut so huge in the dam's detail. So that's an interesting little feature that people might enjoy. We'll probably keep the lollipop loop at the end the same. It seemed like people liked that. It made the run a little bit longer, but it was sort of a nice way not to have people going back on each other. So it goes up to, the race will go up to Old Turnpike Road and then go up Old Turnpike Road just a little bit, take another trail down that loops back to the return loop. We'll want to have food again. We definitely have done well with having the pizzas, and I'd like to add a few little extras besides that to make it fun. We'll have our first place winners, male, female, that will get a prize, and we'll try to do category recognition awards. A lot of times we give a little bit of honey that goes along with that. We're going to add shirts this year, but only shirts that are bought during the registration. There won't be any day of shirts, and the registration will close a few days before the race starts. But we're looking forward to a fun race, and should go well this year. And I hope everyone has fun like they have in the past. Everyone sends a lot of positive feedback about how much they enjoy the course. And I personally think it's a great course. I think it's has a nice bit of variety, and it's a real fun race to do. So hopefully we see people out this year.
Very good.
Thank you.
Autumn was so excited to sign up. She didn't even wait for the discount code. She just went day one, she's in. So that's how much.
It was more stupidity than excitement.
Oh, come on.
But I'm also excited. I haven't done a race in 2 years, and this is the one I signed up for. So that means something.
Yeah, it means you're going to be doing a lot of practice before.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, Brad, you're up. You're on mute if you're talking. There you go.
Sorry, I had this silly idea that if you hit the shift key, you could speak, and apparently it's not working on my keyboard.
Space bar.
Anyway, last year we capped off at 80 people. We had 73 finishers. Things went really well. I think that we're going to keep the same format this year with the handicap start. And I was out on the trail yesterday. It looks clear, nice and flat, no roots or rocks, so it should be an easy run again. And we'll be opening registration probably a little later than the rest of the races, just because we do have the cap, and it's traditionally been sort of a smaller, sort of club member race. It used to be connected with the picnic. I'm not sure if that's coming back this year. It's really going to depend on a lot of factors, but we will be running on time.
And for anybody who hasn't run the assault, don't listen to Brad about how easy or how easy it is.
The assault is a very hilly, up and down soapstone mountain, up 6, down 5. Well, actually, you come down 6, but you get to walk it because your cars are parked at the bottom.
Excellent. All right, Dave, Nipmuc.
All right, Nipmuc. Well, Nipmuc, we had another great year this year. The day itself was wonderful, Connecticut autumn day. It was cool, great running weather, enough that, we didn't have to wear hats, but also got to get some speedy runs in. We did have 10 relay teams finish and 51 marathon finishers. So that gave us 51 finishers this year compared to last year, where we had 52 participants total. So a good jump in the number of people who braved the situation to join us in person. And, everybody's super excited about that. We did take safety precautions this year. Single serving food items, single serving water at the water only drops, and no fresh food like peanut butter sandwiches, no veggie chili. But we're super excited to bring those back next year. So we're really looking forward to providing 2022 the full Nipmuc experience. We did have some striders who finished in the top standings, which is always awesome to see. We had Juan Chacon and Brandon Atkins finishing first and second, respectively, for the men's race. Kelsey Eng finished second for the women's. And then on the relay teams, members Chris Kelly and Ken Forrest finished third in the relay. So we love to see Strider representation on our podiums at our Strider races. Also for runners, we had our furthest traveled runner was Vincent Ma, who came in from California to join us at Nipmuc. Just have to shout out to all of the volunteers, both Strider members who helped out on the day, as well as the ECSU cross-country team who helped out, as always, at Route 44, WAC at Iron Mine, and the trail mixers at Boston Hollow. We did have what might have been a baby alpaca if you squinted carefully, and we're looking forward to having more alpaca presence in 2022. So again, thanks to all the runners for participating, our volunteers. We did raise $2,800 to keep the trails open and available for use, and we're looking forward to an awesome year in 2022.
Dave, you get extra credit for the papaya wall that you decided to use as your backdrop. That's extra. I thought I was good with my banner, but you get extra points there.
I appreciate that.
Somebody's got to stop at his house and paint a tree on that wall.
Yep, just asking for it.
Uh-huh.
All right, so then we had the fun runs. And Dave and Tony, you want to talk to these?
Yeah, so the Chinook end to end went off this year pretty much as usual. One thing that was a little different is we had groups starting at different times. We had an early group, a normal time start, and a later group, some people hiking, people running. We ended up with 8 people finish the whole end to end, I think at 3 different finish times. And we had really great support along the way. Really big shout out to all the volunteers, starting from Christina's Party in the Woods to Bolt Notch and Todd's Drop in the Woods. And then some people really came through in the second half to set up full-blown aid stations, which was unexpected and very welcome. Come out of the woods at Gulf Road, and there's a tent with lights and hot food, and same thing at Hopkins. It was great. So thanks a lot to everybody that helped support that, as well as everybody that came out to run. And besides the 8 people that finished the whole thing, there were probably another 30 or more out there running at least, or hiking at least some part of the trail. So I think it was a great event, and it's fun to have something like that that's not really a race. It's more about just everybody participating in whatever way makes sense. So, good time.
Yep. Dave, do you want to touch on the Fat Ass? Or I can, if you prefer.
Sorry, you said Dave?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. We did a virtual Fat Ass this year, kicked off by yours truly coming down with COVID right within the safety margin of having that. So we did do virtual. We had lots of participation of people who were there. Reportedly, I was not there to see it. Also reportedly, lots of mud. I wasn't there to see it. But we're looking forward to next year, hopefully being able to everybody be there in person and taking part of the tradition.
There you go. All right. So before, let's see if I can actually do this. Before I click on, I'm actually going to send a poll out to everybody online right now. So the question is, what was your favorite event or fun run this year? And it's multiple choice. If I've set it up right, you can pick more than one. So go ahead. I'm going to leave it open for a handful of seconds here, and go vote for what was your favorite. And I think if I've done it right, panelists, you guys can also add in.
No, it specifically
No,
specifically says we cannot.
thought I did it right, but apparently not.
I keep trying to click on Soaps and Assault 6 hour and it won't let me.
All right,
I'm
keep
with
voting.
you.
And then I was gonna hit Assault of the Month Club, just so you know where my brain
Okay,
is.
all right. we still have votes coming in.
Just slightly different. I was chasing for the ice cream social runs.
Oh, yeah. All right, looks like maybe we've got everybody. Oh, no, still votes coming in. Oh, we got a chat too. Hold on.
Uh,
Oh, a little bit of
polar.
kudos. Thank you, Jennifer.
Also, we left out the polar plunge.
Oh, I forgot the polar plunge. Well, that wasn't official. That was
Yeah.
really,
But it
we
was
sort of
popular.
adopted it. It was very popular.
It was
All right,
very
I'm gonna-
popular.
You got one more second to vote and I'm going to end it. And I'm going to show the results. Okay. And, all right, can you guys see that now if I've done that right? Can you see it? Yeah. Okay, so it looks like we've got like a three-way tie with Nipmuc Marathon, Soapstone Assault 6 Hour, and the Schnipsit End to End are sort of the top. And then we've got the Fat Ass, Nipmuc South, and the Sunset Hike sort of in a second place. And then the others got smattering, though panelists might have swayed it one way or the other. All right, thank you guys for playing along. Okay. All right, so upcoming for 22. So race registrations are open. So if you heard the description from our wonderful race directors and you're like, I want in, they are open. The only one that is not currently open is the Assault. The Assault will open in February. It does also have the 80-person cap that we did last year. We did sell out. So just FYI on that, that opens February 1. The other 3 are open. If you have renewed or you're going to renew today, we will work to get their discount code out to you. Once you do register as a member, you will get the discount code. So if you don't want to do it today, don't worry, you'll get the discount code. There is the CFPA combination membership available through February. So if you want with one click, you can get both the Schnipsit Strider membership and the CFPA membership and it's a discount for doing those both independently. So if you want to go ahead and do that and support CFPA as well, that'll be open through February. So that's coming all open for 22. All right, I'll kick it over to you.
All right, hopefully you guys can hear me.
Yep, we got you.
All right, so it's been, seems like a long time since we had the last running of the Blue Blaze Trail Running Series. I think it was 2019. Lots of cancellations in 2020 and also in 2021, but we are back for 2022. We've made some changes to the series for this year, really just to kind of make it a little bit more kind of consolidated, maybe a little bit more snappy. In previous years, we've had up to 22 or 23 actual races or distances that have been part of the series. Just in discussion with some of the other race directors and obviously with the Strider board, we decided that this year it would be probably better to kind of reduce the number of events that we have. So still all the races are included, but we're only including one distance from each of the races. So for example, in previous years at Soapstone Mountain Trail races, both the 6K and the 24K have been included. Some of the races like Macedonia and Tunxis, I think it was, had 3 events. So we've reduced it down to 1. So we're down to 11 events for 2022. I think that makes it a little bit more kind of doable for everybody. And, you know, there were potentially some issues that people had identified whereby you could run all of the shorter distances and potentially still win because we were still scoring them at the same level. So we've kind of taken care of that, made the race series a little bit more snappy. The Assault is no longer included in the race for 2022. And the reason for that is because of the handicap start. And the way that the results for the Assault are kind of published, it makes it very difficult to include that with the races of all the other events. So a couple of other things that we're changing up for 2022. There will be some additional awards. Typically, we've only given awards out to the first place male and first place female, i.e. the people who scored the most points over the entire series. This year, we're adding some additional awards. There will be an award for anybody that completes all of the races within the series. So that's 11 races over the course of the year. First one is Trap Rock, last one is Bimblers. We'll also be giving awards out to anybody that completes between 6 and 10 of the races in the series. So, you know, it's not just for all the elites. There's a lot of races there. And I think picking 6 out of that, you'll get a nice little ragged cuts prize that I've been chatting with Stefan about over the last couple of days. So those things are to look forward to. You know, the first race in the series is Trap Rock. My understanding is that it has sold out already, and it's the 17K. But I have on good authority from the RD that, you know, they do have a wait list, and that wait list goes through really, really quickly. People do drop out, and they do open up a lot more spaces. So if you're interested in trying to complete all 11 events in the series and you haven't registered for Trap Rock, it's worth doing so, because you may still get in. But as I said, we still have those awards for those people who complete between 6 and 10 events. So we've been working with Jim Little at the CFPA, and obviously we have all of the race directors of these particular races are kind of included, and we're trying to make this event more popular this year than it has been in previous years. And we'll be doing some kind of bit more advertising and trying to get the series out there a little bit more, social media and that kind of stuff. So it's a great series that we have here in the state. We're really lucky to have something like this that are all really within pretty close driving, you know, Connecticut being such a small state. So I encourage everybody to sign up for as many or all of the races, particularly the Strider ones. And that's all I got.
Awesome. Very good. All right. And I know you guys have all been waiting for it. Here, Emily.
Oh boy, high expectations there. All right, well, as you all know, seems to have been a bit of an explosion of gear activity this year. You guys are crazy with your gear purchases, I gotta say. Love it though. So we've got a variety of inventory right now. We've got you know, running caps and trucker hats and visors, and a pretty good supply of winter hats coming in, some headbands. I do have some headbands, women's beanies, and those popular fuzzy capped hats at the embroider right now. So hopefully they'll be arriving soon. Just a reminder, the club t-shirts and the jackets, which I will get to in a minute, are for these paying club members only. The other gear is $5 over the membership price. So just another plug for membership. If you do want to join, you can find it at the website, at our website. And just an update on shipping, changing a little bit. So shipping items to people's homes was kind of a service that Tony and Dom had offered when the pandemic started and we were on complete lockdown and nobody was seeing anybody. It's kind of turned into almost a full-time job for me, so I'm planning on cutting back quite a bit on that. You know, I always have a stash in my car with me at all the social runs, and I'll always bring things to the events. So I'm hoping that we can do a lot more in-person exchanges instead of shipping. Unless you live really, really far away, or you want to bribe me with dark chocolate, maybe. I'm gonna kind of try to avoid shipping as much as I can. So as far as club jackets, I know this has been something that's been dragged out for quite some time. We were trying to go with Patagonia, you know, it's because of their values and their quality, of course. But their inventory has been pretty difficult to deal with for large groups. So we started looking into some other companies, and it looks like it'll either be North Face or Eddie Bauer. We've got some samples right now, mostly soft shell jackets, and we'll be making a decision on that pretty soon. And hopefully I'll be able to offer more than one type, just to give some different pricing options. And I will definitely let you know when ordering for that will open up and how. It'll certainly be, you know, sort of a fixed window of time that you can either sign up or order directly. We're not sure yet. You know, and then we'll close that and we'll have the batches made. So I have a couple samples in the car if you want to check for sizing before you go and order. But other than that, you know, hopefully we'll be able to have a couple extra on inventory, but because they're pricey, we won't have a whole, you know, it's sort of an unlimited supply of them. So I think that is all for me.
All right. So I'm gonna give folks a second to think about if they have any Q&A. I'm actually going to stop sharing because that's kind of our last slide so everybody can see us. And so while you guys are thinking of your Q&A or any things that you guys want us to talk about, I have a question for the board. So give me one word that you want to use to describe 22 for you or for the group. You can answer it either way. So if you had to pick a word that you want 22 to reflect, what would it be? And I'm going to go in my Hollywood squares here. Jake, you're first up.
I'm
If
gonna
you can
say
come off mute.
friendship.
What was that?
Friendship.
Friendship. I love it.
Yes.
Brad, you're up next.
I'm going to go with togetherness.
Tony.
Yeah, my word is unmute, I think.
No, that can't be your word.
I don't know, I can't come up with something.
All right, we're coming back to you. You're not getting out of this assignment. Autumn.
Better.
Dave.
Just
Optimistic.
Optimistic. Scott.
Phoenix.
Phoenix. Are you moving?
Phoenix bird.
Oh, like rising from the ashes?
Yes.
Like, you going somewhere? Gotcha.
Well, it had to be one word, so. I
Yeah,
just
no,
figured-
that's rising from the ashes. I love it. Dan.
Hopeful.
Dom.
Like my favorite song by the Pet Shop Boys, Opportunities.
Good. Jillian.
Well, it's not Scott, but renewal.
That's a good one. Emily.
Hugs.
Aw, hugs. So because I made you guys do it, I'll give my word and then Tony, you're up. So my word is stability, because I feel like, we're sort of on this rocking ocean and I just want to kind of know what's coming. Tony, what's your word?
Yeah, I guess healthy.
That's a good one, for sure. All right, and then I see we have a couple of notes in the Q&A. Will people still think about what you want? And then I have one more thing. So typically we do member recognition at the annual party. Last year we recognized Sherry and Clint because they just, between helping with the videos and Sherry was out there cheering everybody on and they were just fantastic. But I actually want to recognize two people on this phone call. So Jillian and Emily, new members to the group, right? Stepped in the middle of a pandemic and just were amazing. So, I don't know if you guys saw Jillian at our races. She was doing all the aid station prep. She was helping the race directors. She's got all our emails done. Just like fantastic. And then Emily, I'm not sure Emily knew what she was getting into when she took the gear job and has just kicked ass. So kudos to both of you. I want to recognize you that you're just awesome. And we're so happy to have your help because we couldn't do it without you. All right. So what do we have for Q&A? Do we have any questions? Or we get 2 answered questions. What is this? Oh, we have Breakneck Pond Bridge. Let me see, Dave, if I can actually get you, if I can get Dave off of mute. Can I do that? Hold on, Dave, are you ready? If I pull you off mute, hold on. All right, if I've done it right, Dave, you can actually talk. Do you want to share information on Breakneck? I'm on the spot.
It still shows him muted.
Oh no, drat.
How's that?
Yeah, there you go, Dave.
Okay. Yes. I went out to the north end of Breakneck Pond with somebody from CFPA, also a bunch of the trail managers who maintain trails at Bigelow Hollow. And they came up with a place for a bridge, not where the stream crosses, but it would kind of like be a little bit beyond the pond as the stream flows south. And they're willing to do the work. My guess is they're going to want to do the work early next summer, because they have their summer trail crew. But the hard part is going to be getting the material out to the site, because it's going to involve a minimum of about 1.5 miles drag of all the material. Somebody suggested driving it out to the south end of Bigelow Pond, put it on a boat, and ferry it across to the other end. I don't know how feasible that is, but I checked out. There's a place, Carrion Road, which is off of 171, and there's a gate which CFPA can probably get open, and they have a 4-wheel drive vehicle. You can put all the materials in there, and then as far as it would go, and then it would be a mile of maybe 1.5 miles of reasonably dragging the lumber.
Okay.
Most of it is downhill. But
So you'll have to let us know if you need help with the lumber.
oh,
Dave.
definitely. That's
So
what
you- Perfect.
that's what I'm here for.
Love
So,
it.
I mean, when CFPA decides to schedule it, I'll certainly let you guys know. They will certainly take a donation, and looking and seeing what you guys have taken in money for the past year. The financial part is going to be the easy part. The hard part is lugging the stuff out there.
All right. You keep us posted, Dave. That
I-
sounds great.
I have a question about it. So I was there one time, maybe a couple of years ago, and there was a bunch of people camping at the very top end of the pond, kind of, I guess, which is kind of in Massachusetts there, right at the pond. There's a
Right.
fire. And they'd got in there on a bunch of ATVs with some trailers. Now, I don't know about which way they came in, but my feeling was that they came from the north, from the Massachusetts side, from that like reservoir that's kind of
Yeah.
going on that dirt road. I don't know whether it might be easier to access from that side.
I hoofed that, and the footing is not great. The easiest way that I came up with, I tried a bunch of different ways. The easiest way would be going off of Carrion Road off of Route 171.
Okay.
But where the bridge is, it's in the middle of nowhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate the update.
Sure.
All right. Any other Q&A topics that you guys want to talk about before I let you go? You got a minute. Come up with your last minute questions. Otherwise, we'll call this a wrap.
And I just wanted to say something about the code really quickly because a couple of people
Yep,
asked.
go for it.
Like me registered a while ago. The discount code that was attached to that email was last year's, so don't use that. But it was fixed. So if you registered more recently, then you should be good.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
you'll-
send that out.
You'll send an email, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, so discount codes will come out in an email. Watch for that. And it'll also, if you haven't yet renewed, it will come out in your renewal email. So don't just ignore that one. All right. Any other comments from the board before I adjourn? All right. I'm going to call it a wrap,
Good
guys.
question.
Yeah, actually,
Got a couple questions in the chat.
Oh, okay, we do. Go for it. What do we got?
Once we get past the spike, how are people feeling about social runs again?
I'm all in. I mean, I think here's my comment, right? Everybody's got to do what's right for them. So we will always take guidance from the state. We will always follow the state guidelines, so long as that is something the state is comfortable with and people want to go host and feel comfortable hosting, we will host. But it's a personal, decision whether or not to come out. And so if people are comfortable with it, we'll host social events and get people out there. So I don't know, any other comments from the board? Doesn't have to just be my voice on that.
I've been kind of trying to get back to doing like a Saturday or Sunday event, just informally putting something out there. It's not a major club event, but just you know, this is where I'm running, do you want to join me sort of thing. And I think there's been a few other people doing that. I think that's probably the easiest way for us to phase back into it until, you know, the restrictions are sort of completely cleared up.
Yeah. And Hillary followed up with doing different locations. And I'm all for that. I think with the ice cream runs, I did try to spread that out so long as I had someone that could host. You know, it's hard. It's hard to go to a new place and you don't actually know where you're going. And I say that half joking because most of the places I go, I've been to and I still don't know where I'm going. But like, you know, more people that are willing to host, we can tee up an event and get people out there if you've got a home-based trail that you know and can lead. So I'm all for that. And it's something that we try to do with the ice cream runs, right? We tried to get out to a couple of different places to try ice cream and try and do some new trails. So good comment.
And I think that's where we need to, you know, lean on other club members. You know, no one should be afraid to say, hey, I have a great run in my area across the state, you know, so that we can put it together formally, but we don't, you know, we need people to say, raise their hand and say, hey, I've got somewhere great to run. Let's put a run together and then the board can make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what we did with the ice cream runs. I mean, almost all of those were hosted by folks that it was their kind of home-based trails or trails they were familiar with. And that was great. Right. So we got to see some new places and it was a ton of fun.
Also, when we talk about leading, especially for some of the people who have a trail that they like and they're really familiar with, but, you know, aren't really sure what that commitment is. Basically, it's giving people a place where, you know, telling people a place where they can park, getting them out and back without losing them. You know, I mean, that's sort of it in a nutshell. So if you've got a trail that you really like and think other people might, you know, post a date and time on the Facebook page and you know, a pin for where the good parking is.
Yep.
So,
and even if we do get lost, it's all part of it. As long as you get back to your car, that's it.
right, getting you out and back is relative. You know, if you say it's a 3-mile run and we wind up back at the car at 7.5, that's kind of normal.
Yes. Yep, Dom, go.
So one other thing that I'll be doing more of this year, not that I I did plenty of it last year as well, but is trail maintenance. So I'm going to be putting out some emails to try and get some people. Now, typically I don't do trail maintenance on CFPA Blue Blaze trails. Normally it's NCLT stuff, which tend to be short trails, normally 1.5 to 2.5 miles long. And it's really no heavy lifting. It's mostly just cutting back brush and cleaning up and maybe some leaf blowing and some raking and that kind of stuff. So, you know, it's nothing that's going to kind of break anybody's back. But, you know, if I do it on my own to do 2.5 miles, you know, it takes me all day. But if there's 2 or 3, 4 people, you can whip around that in an hour and a half and get the trail kind of cleaned up. So I'll be putting some emails out for that. So if people are interested in that, I would really, really appreciate some help.
Yeah, that's great. And I have plans to reach back out to CFPA. So we had been on a rhythm of helping them out, particularly on trails that we use for races. And they had obviously for the pandemic shut down any sort of public assistance to their trail groups. But it's certainly something that I've been working with Claire on, and she knows that, you know, we're available. So I was going to reach back out and just make sure that we can help wherever we can. Because, you know, we run on those trails, we probably should help maintain them as well. So looking forward to that, Dom. That's a great idea. What else? Okay. Jillian,
Do
did
we
you
know
have
how the
something?
Nipmuc Bridge is going? Has anyone been there, seen it?
Yeah, it's in the road. That's going to be something we're going to have to, Scott, we're going to have to go figure out. It's currently
Yeah,
on
hopefully
shaky though.
hopefully it'll be fixed by the time.
We just would request about, I don't know, 50 volunteers to lift it and carry it back down to the river, and we would really appreciate help with that.
It's going to be the Nipmuc South Duathlon.
Just swim across the river at the 7-mile mark.
Put it back on the river just in time for it to get flooded in the winter again.
I know. All right, going once, going twice. All right, guys, I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys make this club an amazing thing. And thank you to everybody that joined. Thank you.
Thank you, Emma.
See you guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Good night, all.
Everybody.